We have our water heater here today, and what we're going to do is we're going to be flushing out this water heater tank for daily maintenance, and then we're also going to change this anode rod. But the first step is going to be turning off the power to the water heater. I'm just going to do that at the circuit breaker switch over here. Now to help me do this, I'm going to be using this tool right here. This is called the Sediment Buster. And this is going to help us break up any potential sediment that's inside of the water tank. So we're just going to hook this up. Okay, and next we're going to hook up our garden hose over here and direct this outside. And I'm just going to take this other end of the hose and put it into a bucket so I can see what's getting deposited. Next thing I'm going to do is shut off the supply line to the water heater. To help depressurize, I'm going to turn on the hot water here. Okay. And now I can start to release from over here. Okay, and we're going to turn this. All right, now we have water that should be going out to our bucket outside. There we go. You do see a little bit of sediment, not too much, which is good news. We'll see how it goes. Now to really take advantage of our tool here, we're going to need to use some compressed air. Now I don't have a compressed air tank, but I do have this bicycle pump, and this should help stir up some of the sediment that's in the tank. Sediment typically settles at the bottom of the tank, and the air is going to help disturb it so it comes out with the water instead of just settling at the bottom. Let's take a look and see how well this works. You can see a little bit more sediment seem to be mixing in as I do that. All right, we're getting near the top of this 5-gallon bucket. What I'm gonna do is I'll place this to the side for now. I'm gonna slowly dump this. The good news is there's not as much sediment as I was expecting for this. I have never flushed this tank since I got it new, which has been about 4 years ago. There is sediment, no doubt you can see some, but I was expecting a heavier sediment amount. Just gotta keep slipping out. Use a clamp to hold them hopefully in place. There we go, hopefully that helps. Alright, well, while we wait for that to drain, might as well work on the anode rod here. So right here is where we have our anode rod, and the anode rod is a metal rod that is designed to be sacrificial, meaning that all of the decay is going to go towards the anode rod and not towards the tank itself. So we want to take this out, inspect it, and almost certainly replace it. Alright, now I'm going to get back to this. There is just so much foam. I'm really surprised that A.O. Smith set up their water tanks to have this much foam before you get to the anode rod. It's almost like they don't want you to change it. The size of the socket that you'll need to remove an anode rod is 1 1/16, which is just about the same as 27 millimeters, so either should work. It's universal, that's always going to be the size. The anode rod is so far down into the tank on this model that I can't just reach it with the socket on the ratchet. I need to find some extenders. And the only thing that I have on hand is what I was using with the impact gun. So I swapped it off the impact and I attached it to my ratchet so I can get some more manual leverage and hopefully some more torque. Unfortunately, it was more torque than it could handle. That's exactly what I was afraid of. Unbelievable. Wow. Way to go, A.O. Smith. At this point, I left my house as it was draining to quickly run and grab some heavy-duty extenders. Okay. But I still didn't have enough leverage to break the anode rod free. So I decided to take the closet door out and use a gigantic breaker bar for maximum leverage to try to break this free. But unfortunately, all I was accomplishing was rotating the whole water heater. Enough water had drained out that it no longer had the weight to keep it in place, and the anode rod is so stuck that I really wasn't making that much progress. So I decided to give up my efforts on trying to pull the anode rod out until maybe next year when I can get a pneumatic air gun, an impact wrench that's going to have more power and torque to blast it off, but by hand, it just isn't going to move. Looks like my little bike pump is taking in some water as well sometimes. Not a lot, but just interesting to point out as I pull up. In addition to using the Sediment Buster to agitate sediment, when the water tank is getting low on water, opening up the water supply for another blast of water does a great job of getting things moving again. And you can see that our water bucket is now containing a bit more sediment in it, as the water has a bit more of a white hue to it, and you can even see some of the sediment sticking to the bottom of the emptied bucket. And here's just my next handful of bucketfuls that I'm dumping out, and you'll see as time goes on, they get less and less cloudy, less filled with sediment as the tank gets cleaned out. And now the tank's been emptied, and I'm ready to turn the water back on for the final time, fill it back up, and flip everything back on. I'm first going to shut off the valve on the Sediment Buster, and then I'm going to turn off the valve on the tank itself, closing it off so that it's good to go. Make sure you have your faucets turned to hot to bleed out all hot air as the tank is refilling. Once the hot water tank is filled back up, we can turn the power back onto it at the breaker. And after that, we're done. If this video helped you out, consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to the channel.